it's going to be fascinating to see ultimately how Stearns plays this, because we know they need at least one reliever. You could definitely make a strong case they need two relievers, and we'll get to, actual position players here in a moment. And the question is, how do you balance the line of going out and getting, like, look at Phil Maton, right? They essentially, it seems like we're mostly paying money for a guy that it wasn't working out with the Rays, but there was a clear sample size of him having success as a major league reliever, and we'll kind of see where it goes from there. But do you go out and look for guys with team control? Like when they traded for Brooks Raley, when they traded for Brooks Raley, and I understand that was a winter, not a trade deadline, the thought of Brooks Raley was, we're going to go pay up to get him because we think he could be our setup man for the next 3 years. And before he got hurt, Brooks Raley was a massive part of this bullpen. Or if you're the Mets, Joe, are you looking to spend as little as possible and take a flyer on rental relief arms? That's the interesting line that I think Stearns, we are pretty convinced he's going to add to this bullpen. I think that question has personally been answered. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's a question of what kind of arm are you adding?
I would think it's a balance of the two. I'd be surprised personally if they went to the top of the market for the Tanner
Miller.
Scotts or Mason Miller even. Like, yeah, Mason Miller, I don't think he's going to be dealt. And frankly, the cost that Oakland would ask, I don't think anyone should pay it either. As good as he is and as long as he's under control, I mean, he's at the end of the day still a reliever.
Like even Edwin Diaz kind of cost?
At least.
Right, I think so too.
Maybe even more, because it was 5 years. It's 5 years plus of control on the guy. Yeah. So I don't expect Mason Miller to be dealt. But hey, if someone wants to pay the piper, then maybe Oakland listens. Even when you think about a Tanner Scott who's a rental, I think that prospect cost may even end up too much for the Mets. So I would expect, and David Stearns, I know it hasn't worked out.
Should have traded for him 3 days ago.
Yeah, I know, right? I would say historically, and I know this is going to make some Mets fans roll their eyes because the bullpen's been a struggle this season. Historically, David Stearns has built fantastic bullpens, and he knows generally what to look for. So I trust him here to find the right guy or two, and I would guess there might be one that a pretty solid prospect is a part of, and maybe one where you're taking money, whether that's taking an outfielder, like, we'll get into that in a second, but maybe you take an outfielder that makes money to lessen the cost for some reliever you think has some promise to help out in the second half.